Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I want to give you what's as usual that I call my tip for the day. And my tip for the day is discovering the power of silence. Discovering the power of silence. Like I always say, there are a lot of things that when we begin to inculcate them in our daily lives, it will help us to ease us of a lot of unnecessary stress, unnecessary problems that we go through in life. And one of the things that I also discovered is the power of silence, the ability to be quiet. Do you know that there are a lot of people that actually derive pleasure? It's it's like their ego is boosted, so to say. You help them to fuel their ego when you actually respond to everything that they say. I've come to realize that a lot of people that is one of the ways that they actually, make themselves feel relevant, make themselves feel important. When they throw something at you and you respond and they go into an argument with you, they have the now you create an opportunity for them to say all sorts of things to you, and oftentimes you see them go out and I begin to brag. Yes, I was able to give it to her, I was able to do it to her, she said this and I responded like this, and she said, there's a lot of people feed on such things like that. A lot of people feed their ego on situations like that. And having recognized that, and like I said, I recognize that as one of the things that, actually, especially people, when you look at people like maybe people who are bullies, a lot of people are bullies and they don't even know. And most of us are dealing with bullies and we don't even recognize that those people are bullies. And oftentimes you think that they throw something at you and you are responding, that you not responding is like showing that you are a weakling, that you can't do anything. But I've come to realize that one of the strengths that bullies have is the ability for them to bring you out of your shell, to make you do things that ordinarily you wouldn't do, because for them, they live, they thrive, their ego is fueled through conflict. And when they are able to drag you to the level where they are, where you get into that conflict with them, you have made their day. You have made them who they are. You have given them what they actually want and what they actually desire. You understand? You are helping them to build that self-esteem, that thing that makes them relevant. Because for bullies, the only thing that makes them relevant is to make someone else angry. There's this popular saying that misery needs company. So when you are see somebody who is miserable and the person sells their misery to you and you buy into that misery, you are also, like, it is not for you. You are actually, so when somebody brings something for you to buy and you buy that thing, what are you doing? You are actually sowing into that person's treasure, into that person's pocket, so to say, if I can just use that as a simple analogy. So, and that is what I've come to realize with people who are always constantly looking for situations where they go into an argument with you. And like I said, one thing I discovered is the ability to stay quiet. Look, there's this popular saying that silence means consent, right? It is not in all situations that silence means consent. Sometimes silence is you telling somebody, you know what? I am not ready to come to your level. I am not ready to bring myself so low. I am not ready to degrade myself. I am not ready to insult myself. I am not ready to, to go to the gutters with you, so to say. So there are some people that you need to look around you, look at people like that. Like for me, I have come to, map out such people around me that I have decided, because over time I realized that each time I have a conversation with some of people like this, each time something happens, it's always, get into an argument. And when I argue with them, I realize that it drains my energy. Why? Because such individuals, why the thing is draining my energy, such individual is actually, glorying, taking, how do I put it? Like the person's ego is being boosted by whatever argument they have with me, that's something like that. So I've come to realize that one of the things that will help you as an individual, you whoever is watching this video, one of the things that help you, and that is one thing that I have come to, imbibe in my own life, is the ability to keep silent, recognize the power of silence. You know, even the Bible, for those who believe in the Bible, even the Bible says somewhere in the book of Proverbs, it says, even a fool, when you keep your mouth shut, you are considered wise. Like I said before, you know, there are situations where they can say, okay, silence means consent. Maybe somebody is asking you, what is your opinion concerning this thing? And you keep silent. It is assumed that you buy into, that you are, you know, it's assumed that you consent to whatever that person is presenting. But this is not the angle that I'm taking it now. The angle I'm talking about is this, you know, those people, you know, like I said, when people, arrogant people, proud people, bullies, they feed off argument, they feed off, you know, strife, they feed off quarrels. I don't know. And they feed in conflict. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. They feed on conflict, and oftentimes that conflict, I mean, of course, they can go into conflict with themselves. They always look for people to get into conflict with, you know. And when you recognize such people, let me tell you something. One of the ways to break a bully is to completely ignore them and make them, you know, recognize that they don't exist. Because what makes them relevant, what makes them important, is the ability for them to drag you, to get you to that point where you begin to respond to everything that they do, respond to their actions, respond to the words that come out of their mouth. When you begin to respond to them, it helps them to build them. So my tip for you for today, for this morning, starting this day, you know, my tip for today that I'm giving to you is, if you can recognize the power of silence. It's not everything that you have to respond to. Some things will come to you. You know what? You look at it and you keep it moving. Honestly, that is one thing I've come to realize. You know, recently something happened and somebody sent me a very nasty text message. You know, and such text messages are the kind of messages that before, when I see them, I respond quickly. And I realize that for that particular person, one thing that makes her feel important is the ability, is the fact that she tells you something, you respond, you go into an argument, and you guys begin to fight. And at the end of the day, she said, yes, I was able to, you know, when you allow people to bring you out of you've empowered them. When you respond to people, you give them information that they will use against you. So when you discover the power of silence, a lot of things will come to your way. Learn to ignore people. Learn to ignore things. Learn to not give people that, help people feel important, not to give them that feeling of importance. Because when you begin to respond to them, you're actually making them important. You know, it's like when somebody comes to you and tries to ask you something that you know that person does not have any right to know, or maybe it doesn't have any right. You know, like there's some certain things that will come up. You know, when you begin to respond, you are actually, you know, acknowledging, you are actually helping that person to feel that importance, because it's like you are indirectly telling the person that you actually deserve me responding to you. You know, so that is just what I'm trying to say. If you find yourself in that situation and have such people around you, one thing that you have to learn is the ability to ignore. Keep quiet. Don't respond to anything. And when you don't respond, you realize that such people that always come to you to pick up quarrels, it will stop. They will not be able to do it again. Now they recognize that you more or less disarmed them. You more or less make them powerless in your life. Because when you respond, you're giving people power to actually, because that response will make you aggravate, will make you angry. And when you respond, you're actually giving them power to keep aggravating you. That is just the point I'm trying to make. So in a nutshell, that is just my tip for you today. Learn the power of silence. Don't respond to anything. Don't give people power over your emotions, over your happiness, over your joy, over your life. Don't give them that power. Don't respond to them. Learn to ignore a lot of things, and you'll be happy for it. And you disarm those people that think that they can make you, that they can ruin your day by bringing up some things that does not make sense. Anyway, this is just my little tip for this morning. Like I always say, whatever is your thought, you can leave it at the comment section. With this, I'll say thank you for watching and have a blessed day.